I'm going to do the first Makerspace drawing video. Now, some of you guys are tuning in that you've watched the Animusic stuff, and you're thinking, what is this guy doing? Well, we're drawing today, and today we're going to be making a rifle or a sniper. It won't be a rifle, at least not by my definition. It doesn't have any barrel to have the rifling done to it. It's going to be a laser sniper, or perhaps a plasma sniper. It's going to be rechargeable with a hand crank. So let's get started. Alright. So, saying that, I already have a few ideas. We have a circle, big circle for our charging thing. And we'll add in a handle like this. You know, I'm just kind of mapping out where things are. I don't want to draw too hard. And then this is where I'd imagine we hold the trigger. Kudos to you if you actually pull the trigger and not just hold it. And hands up in the comments if you thought that joke was stupid. I certainly did. But you know, it's all about the process. Alright. So I'm already liking where this is going. We'll add something here. A little ledge coming out over there. It almost feels like he's going up. Let's try to... There we go. Now, a lot of sketching artists on YouTube, anyway, don't seem to like to use the eraser. At least ones I watch don't. I use mine liberally. One of my favorite tools is the eraser. You can never have enough. Alright, so we've got a large handle here. Hopefully it provides some leverage to the charging core. That's what I'm gonna call this. It has the same components as like a brushless motor, coils and magnets. So for something you don't know about that is, well, something you may not know about that is that if you spin an electric motor while it's not running, it actually ends up being a charger, which is really cool. So, that's how I'd imagine this thing gets its charge. You know, you run out of ammo, heat of battle, you don't need to find more ammo on your person, or in perhaps cases lying around a map if it's a game. Now your character can just crank away and charge up the gun without having to do anything else. I have to admit, just imagining a guy coming out and spending all of his electricity, all of his charge on Battlefield, and then just duck in a corner and start like feverishly cranking away at this thing. It's kind of humorous to me. That's a really good looking scope, actually. I like the look of that. Doesn't quite match with the circle, but it almost provides a nice contrast. add in a few extra lines to make it look like they're just supports and not like a full-on thing. Yeah. So I don't know how obvious it is, but this gun is definitely inspired by Halo. I love the Halo games. Really, anything Bungie era, I'm all for. And that's probably where I'd put the stock. The stock is making me nervous, but, you know, now that I think about it, we could have this really cool over the shoulder hook kind of thing. Tell me in the comments if that would be a good design to have in the heat of battle. Would that prohibit you from, you know, something that you'd need to do? Get away quickly or something? Or would it end up ripping off your arm in some case? Or would it help the gun stay on your shoulder? Or is it just something a little useless that looks pretty cool? You know, it doesn't seem to have a function. It's that obvious I don't know much about war. This is actually looking really slick. Sorry if the camera's a little shaky. I've got this camera mount right now, and it's, well, let's just say it's not great. I'm definitely gonna get a new one after this. Almost doesn't look like it should be there. Let's draw this here, and this line up, angle it, darken the line there, yeah. Alright. Now without the barrel, this thing looks kind of stupid. At least that is my opinion on it. Some of you like the look of it. That's cool. You know? I'd like to see what other combinations could be made just the base of the gun that you see here. Okay, we got the handle. Give more definition. That's good. Alright. We'll give this a curve too. See what happens. Who's getting seasick in the comments? Yeah. Look at that. See, this is the point where we can either have it curved or angled, but it doesn't look like we can have both, at least not to me. So, since more of it's angled, that's what I'm gonna do. I always liked sharper angles anyway, they give a nice edge. sharp corners. Strong lines. Nice. All right. It almost looks like a StarCraft of some sort, you know? I imagine this is like the cockpit, and then maybe that's a laser, and perhaps this is the landing gear of the wing. Definitely have an engine over here. Maybe a fin. It's really cool, but we're not making that today. You want starships in the future, you know, let me know. I'm always open to it. That's a good look. No, that is a good look. Now let's start bulking out the barrel here. I'm calling it a barrel for now, but I'm almost certain it's not going to be a barrel. I'm thinking this looks more like your sci-fi railgun. You know, it's a sniper energy gun, so energy sniper gun. Definitely gonna name this thing by the end of the video, though I'm not certain what it will be. What do you think I should name it? I'm sure you all have your opinions. Feel free to share. Just look down in the comments and tell me, what is the dream name you'd give this thing? You know, it feels like a circle wants to be there. Almost like it's resisting. Changing into like an octagon. You know, we'll let it have its way. Don't need to have it exactly like you envisioned it or how you wanted it. You know, it ends up turning out better when you make it true to what it wants to be. It feels like you're discovering it along with the art piece. Yeah, that definitely looks better. I definitely think it needs to be cleaned up, though. We'll just erase this. It gives us a faint outline of where it was since we went down a little hard. That's okay. As long as we make it clear where we want the circle to be, then those lines will almost fade away. Yeah. Now, I don't just plan to make drawing videos like this one. I also want to make some animations as well. Believe it or not, the anime music was in Blender. I'm sure a lot of Blender and 3D users could spot that right away. You know, some people might not know. And yet, those Legos are in Blender. So that anime music ad was entirely in Blender. And I've been learning a lot about Blender since then. A lot of tricks now I didn't before. Thinking about making a really neat little animation. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys what it is, mostly because it's fun to keep information from people. But also because I want to see what you guys have to say. What animation would you guys watch from me? You know, like a animusic style or inspired thing, or maybe something else. I plan to make drawing videos a lot more often. To be frank, they're a lot easier to make. And lots of fun too. Any of you guys doubt it's fun to make a drawing video? Just make one for yourself. See what it is. Don't worry if you're not good at drawing, it all comes in time. You should see me draw human faces, at least realistic human faces. I'm okay with cartoonish ones, but realistic humans is just a whole nother nightmare I'm not willing to touch right now. But let's say if I want a challenge, I'll make a video doing that, and we'll get to have nightmares together. It'll be fun. All right. I'm not sure how the charging circle is going to look, but that's okay. This, I think, is a heat shield. I would imagine that this gun would get pretty hot. It is an energy weapon after all, so it's going to be getting some conductive heat on the barrel for sure. If you want to hold it and get more stability, get my pronunciation, then you'd be able to hold it right here and not burn yourself. Trust me, burning yourself is not fun. And those of you that have gotten burns, I don't know a single person that hasn't, but if you're somehow lucky enough, it's not fun. I would not recommend it. All right. So the barrel, this is a part I've been scared about mostly, so most of this time I've been scared about the barrel. But it feels like, now that this gun is kind of starting to come to life on its own, kind of let it be what it wants to be. I think it wants to have that angled down. I kind of envisioned it angled up, but angled down is a good look for it. See what happens. It's a really neat sci-fi blaster. It's inspiring me to draw the guy that would hold this. Since it's got some Halo inspiration, thinking about drawing this character I did a doodle of a while ago that nobody ever saw. but it was a Spartan soldier modeled after historical, ancient Spartans. So the helmet looked a lot more, it almost had a Mandalorian quality to it. Wasn't quite intended to look that way, but I'm pretty sure Lucas making Boba's helmet, the first Mandalorian on screen that we'd ever seen in that universe, I'm pretty sure that he knew it looked like a Spartan. And then I would also imagine that Spartans would be a little more common in this universe. Not like the Halo universe where there's specialty things. We wouldn't call them Spartans, obviously. But we'd definitely have a be modeled after the old Spartan armor. That looks pretty cool. But it almost feels like it's missing something. I thought about putting capacitors, like really large, chunky ones where all the energy gets released out from the rails. Maybe all the energy builds up and charges up the air and makes it plasma and then lets it go. It's all magnetically contained. It's an interesting idea. It had wires running from it. Just wires kind of connecting both of them. And that's where magnetic field comes from. It's a thought. This thing has definitely got its scale now. So if you imagine one hand here and one hand here, that's a pretty beefy gun. Yeah. This looks a little too thin to put capacitors, but this might have just what we're looking for. Oh yeah. Almost look like spines. It's like a combination of Covenant and human technology. I don't know if it was intended to be Halo fan art, to be honest. I didn't want to make that. I want to kind of have their own universe. So even though, like, the Spartans are modeled after them, they wouldn't be called Spartans. They would just be called soldiers. And, they would fight against, perhaps, like, the robot uprising. The reason they have weapons like these that require being charged is because anything connected to the internet, or whatever the equivalent of the internet is in that world, is automatically controlled by them. So yeah, fight against the robots, or the bad robots. I'm sure they're good robots too, Add some stripes, so it just kind of feels right. Nice. This is a good look. I'm liking this. All right. Maybe we have an inner ring, and then we have a cutout here. Just kind of hangs around there, and then we have a hollow point in here. That's a good look. I'm going to be happy with that. All right. If any of you watched Adam Savage Tested, you know, when he makes all of his props and Nerf gun mods and whatever the heck he does in there. Yeah. One of his, favorite things to say is, "I'm quite pleased with that." It's one of his favorite things to say. I feel like I've got that twitch where I just say, I like the look of that. It's a good look. That's good. Alright, that is looking really good. Most of the time, I just use a pencil for literally everything. Shading, line work, everything. I like just only having to use one tool, but can kind of hit its limit at some point, if you want color and bold, dark outlines, sometimes you end up wanting to use something different. So I do every now and then. I think that might be just the thing to make this pop. Put in some colored pencil. Maybe we'll do that. I wasn't planning on doing that, but sometimes you just need to let the art tell you what it wants, Make the art to tell you what it wants. Anyone doing this feels like Bob Ross, even though we can only hope to, hold a candle to the greatness of Bob Ross that he was. Some of the younger generation, I doubt they'd even know who Bob Ross is if they'd even watch, YouTube videos on it. I don't know if reruns exist at this point, to be honest. Those were the good old days. Whoever remembers, Super Bowl commercials that were good, Like that one where, the short dude did a rap battle with Morgan Freeman. The Mountain Dew Ice and the Doritos Blaze commercial. I bought a whole bag of Doritos Blaze after that. Anyone that was there can tell you it was not a good time. Not a good time. I didn't have spicy foods for 2 years after that. looks good. It looks good. But I still want more. I want something a little extra to make this pop. I don't know how long it's been. I haven't looked at the clock. Maybe it's been like, I don't know, 30 minutes. Maybe we'll add some like heat shielding here. Maybe at the top. Yeah, that might look cool. The guy that inspired me to do this, his channel's called Draw Sessions. Go check it out. He does a lot of monsters and stuff. It's not my style exactly, but he's got some good tips, like how to shade and all that. I've been trying it out. It works pretty well. Though my shading ends up being a little different. These drawings end up being a little two-dimensional sometimes. This one actually feels like it's got layers to it, you know? There are things that pop out. Because there are, like, pieces in front of others, it adds that depth, makes things feel a little more dynamic. Even if this is a straight-on kind of look to it. Most things I draw are almost intended for 3D use. You know, whether I'm looking for it or not, you know, it just kind of happens. Looking to make things 3D. Blueprints kind of look. Heat shielding seems to really work on sci-fi guns, you know, it really adds that pop. No, I want a little something down there. Just a little, like almost circuit board kind of design. Kind of nearing the end of this drawing here. Now I want to know if I should make like the Spartan over here, do like a 2-part lesson, one for not even a lesson, just kind of video where it's like the gun and then the person, or if I should do colors, the colored pencils. It's tough. You know, I think I'll do colored pencils, and then I'll do some like sketches to show how certain bits work, you know, like the reload, for instance. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do, but first I'll add in this pinstripe. It's interesting. It's an interesting look. It's not one I like particularly though, so I'm just gonna erase it. But I do like the look of just that one dot on the edge. You know, what it is, I'm not sure. Couldn't tell you. I'm not sure anyone else could. But now, got a little thing going on. Which, yeah. We'll just pretend that that's not there. Then draw a little harder. Draw your attention away from that edge. A lot of artists that go really light probably don't have to deal with that kind of thing, but I don't. Why is that? I don't know. All right. So now let's make some magic. Let's label out this guy, and we'll draw this like it's the halo. Point of view, Just look at that. There we go. That's a good look. That's a good look. I really do say that all the time, don't I? And then, this little trick I've learned, if you want to make things look like they fade out, just erase that tip, Try to go a little heavier where it might be. Perhaps just kind of lightly touch that bit and then go real dark on that. And bam, it looks really neat. So I almost imagine that, like Halo, this gun has a very functional display. It tells you the power charge. Isn't that nifty? We'll have like a 72. Why 72? I'm not sure. It just felt right. And then we'll do like a lightning bolt instead of percent. Because who wants math? We want flashy images. So then we'll have the scope. I'd imagine like when the battery gets drained, the scope just kind of folds down on itself, and these little arms. Shroud. At least that's what I'm going to call it. I think that the shroud is there to keep the sunlight out of the scope so that it doesn't glint in the sun. You're trying to snipe, because I know some stories of some snipers that have got killed by just the sun shining straight down on them. Alright, now we've got one label for what this guy does, which is awesome. And then we'll do the circle now, which is the coolest part of the gun. You know what, I just decided we're gonna do the Spartan on the side here. That's gonna be fun. Maybe it'll be a part 2, maybe not, who knows. Now it's gonna have a handle on either side. Not sure quite how that's gonna work. Maybe that just acts as a clamp, who knows. But there's some lefties, so it's better to make a gun that accommodates more soldiers on the field. then it'd be just to make a rifle with one handle. Alright, so that's what it looks like, I think. Then the handle will come out that way. Then we'll draw like a circle, something there. Maybe it shouldn't come out that far. Which means it just kind of made that line in the middle of our thing, but that's alright. How about we draw a fist holding that? Fist of our Spartan. Fists are easier to draw for some reason. Don't know why, they just are. There we go, 4 knuckles, and then the thumb. And then we put the handle in. That's where you're holding from. An odd perspective thing going on. Alright, then we'll draw the armor. It's like a sneak peek. Those of you still watching, draw a little battle damage on there. Yeah. Maybe a bit of weathering on the side of the armor. Or paint chipping. Alright. Definitely need to redo that, because it looks pretty bad. Looks bloody awful. I don't know, it's passable, but it's not quite what I'm looking for. Sometimes I'll put up with passable just because I don't want to screw with anything any more than I already have, but passable just doesn't quite work. That's a little better. Probably what I'm gonna go with. I'm not exactly sure how they line these up. Maybe they just kind of like push them, like pull and then push and pull and push. It comes around like that. I don't know. That's an interesting idea. Maybe it just kind of pops out. It's like, I need reload now. Doesn't give you any other option. Let's make the elbow like that. Yeah, that works. Then, yeah, just a bit more to help out with what you're looking at here. Then we'll make a little gap for the handle to go into. So when it's not being reloaded, handle folds back into its slot. And we'll draw the scope folded down. Kind of show what it looks like when it's folded down. probably be more like that. We can probably make that look like it was part of the shroud's support. Yeah, see? Nothing to it. Yes. Yes, it is quite good. I imagine that going on somebody's quotes. I'm not sure where, but now that I've mentioned it, it is absolutely going there. Pro tip, do as I say, not as I do in this regard, but if you don't want anybody to have your quotes, don't mention that it's going to be put on a quote list. Because that's the first thing that's going to happen. It's kind of like in the Air Force, if you want a call sign, don't ask for it. They will give you one, and you're not going to like it. It's almost guaranteed. It's like a dare. You want a call sign? All right. They just give you one. Yeah. All right. This is actually looking really cool. We'll add in a bit of detail to inside there. Put in the part we called a cutout earlier. Not sure what we're actually supposed to call that thing. It is not a bad look. And then we'll also give our screen another look. Look here. And put the lightning bolt in there. We don't have to put the charge there. We just need to signify that this is what that is. But now we can't tell because it's very messy. All right. Yeah, it's a little better. It's not like 100% clear what that is, but given the context, it makes sense. So I'm not going to put too much more energy into it. According to this up here and this down here, that should not be where the handle starts. We should have it more down here. And another pro tip, don't drop your eraser in the middle of a video and then forget where it went. It's a good thing that I've got this case down here full of them, so I can just grab a new one whenever I need it. Yes, it's a stocking. See if I care. That's nice. Then we'll give that a bit of doctoring up. This is where the handle should go. Alright, that's our slot. Beauty. That looks like a handle slot. Alright. And then these lines are a little harsh, so I'll just go over with the eraser to fade them out here. Maybe we could add just like the tip of the capacitor here, just to tell you that this is what this is. Even though we already know what this is, somebody might not know what they're looking at. Did that really help? No. Did it make us feel better? Yeah, sure, so we'll keep it. Alright. Then we'll add an arrow. Saying that we turn this, and then it gives us charge. Put another lightning bolt here. Never had too many lightning bolts. Maybe the scope doesn't fold down. Maybe it is just a part of it. You know, that's okay. It actually looks cool with the scope anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. Wanna know what the hardest part of this video is? It's not whistling while I work. I'm one of those people that loves to whistle. However, I've listened to whistling, not willingly, of course, but I've heard whistling through the headset. And for you headphone users, you know that that's not fantastic. So, yeah, we're not gonna whistle today. Sad as it is. Alright, so we've got a label telling us that it's a recharging drive. You know, just crank away, get your charge back. This is your scope, and this is your ammo reader. Your just heads-up display, and it's not a heads-up display, it's just the gun display. And then we forgot the heat shield down there. Yeah, it looks a little better. We can play that off as a heat shield. That's what we're gonna do. All right. So we're about an hour in at this point, which is cool. Quite the video. Unfortunately, I'm not going to do the Spartan, which is a shame. However, what I will do is get some colored pencils. Now, I envisioned this as being like a gold and a green. So that's what I'm gonna do. So we get a gold, get like a yellow colored pencil just to get some of that gold in there, and then we'll put some green, maybe on the screen and in the capacitors. That's what I think will be good. Maybe we'll also do a bit of shading. Yeah, I think that will be just the thing. So, allow me a moment. And bam, we're back. Easy as pie. also happen to have found my old eraser. Isn't that nice? Alright. Give a bit of green to the side of that. And maybe just the outline of that. Maybe it glows on the inside. Isn't that cool? That's pretty cool. Some green there. Green there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Some greens. Now some golds. Imagine this silver on the inside, so we'll put the gold on the outside. Try to go a little more on the underside here. Maybe these are also gold. Not going too crazy with the yellow. Just enough to give the impression that this might be something. It's a little goldy. You know, I think maybe some orange will also help give off a gold look. I don't know about you guys, but if this was a real weapon in a real game, I would play this game to death. I am definitely a sniper myself, but you know, with the charging feature and the regular gun feature, so you like charge it up and it wasn't supposed to be gold in my head, so we're just gonna color it a dark color and you know, color a few other things too with the pencil. Yeah, not bad. We'll also make the handle here dark too, and then color this in dark, which is great. So this looks about done. Just adding a bit more pencil to the spots we want to darken up here, make look like they're silver, and then that's about all it is. So there, nice little concept. I would definitely use this to 3D model, and you know, if you like, I might actually make a 3D model out of it, put it somewhere. And that's about all I have for this video. Just do a bit of touch-up. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe if you want more. There's plenty more to come. I'm going to do this as often as I can, and we'll see you next time.